Your goal in watching this video is to have another tool to solve percent problems. So we've used proportions to solve percent problems. Now you're going to learn how to use an equation to solve the exact same problems and get the exact same answer as you got when you were using proportions. The approach that we're using with an equation is to translate the question they asked us into a math problem. So we're just going to go from left to right. What number? We don't know. We don't know the number. So we're going to use a variable to represent something we don't know, the unknown. That's a very algebra-like thing, to represent the unknown or something you're trying to find with a variable. Then what comes next, I took care of what number. I represented that as x. Next I have is. 2 plus 3 is 5. 3 times 5 is 15. What does is mean? It means equals. So where it says is, I'm going to write an equal sign. Now I took care of that part of the statement. Then I have 24%. I can write that as 24 over 100. Or, if you prefer working with decimals, you could write 24 hundredths. So I took care of that. Of, in math, half of 4, you take half times 4. Of means times. And lastly, 50. So I just went in order and I made sure every part of this statement was included in my equation. So I have x equals 24 hundredths times 50. X is already a load, so I can just do the math on this side. 24 hundredths times 50 gives me 12. Over here, they're just using that model to show that if we would estimate our answer, we would have an answer that's really close to what the estimate predicted. So they're saying if you have 100% of something, and we're talking 50, 100% of 50 is 50. 25% is really close to 24%. The problem asks for 24% of 50. 24% is close to 25%. 25% of 50 is 12.5. So is our answer a little bit less than 12.5? Yeah, as it should be. So our answer is 12. And remember, it didn't say what percent, it said just what number. So our answer should not have a percent sign behind it. Next example. All right, same thing. We're solving with an equation, so we're going to translate every part of this word problem into a math equation. So first we have 9.5. Not a percent, so I can just write it as it is. Took care of that. Then I have is in math. 3 times 7 is 21. Is means equals. What percent? Okay, what percent? We're going to have a variable, and we're going to remind ourselves that at the end, our answer needs to be a percent. So what percent is represented by x? Of means multiply. And then, lastly, 25. All right, so in this case, I have my equation written. My variable is not alone. My goal is always to get the variable alone. So they took x and they multiplied it by 25. So we're going to undo that by dividing by 25 on both sides. Rules of equations, do something to one side, got to do it to the other. 25 divided by 25 is 1. So we have x times 1, which is just x. Got my variable alone, mission accomplished. On the other side, I have 9.5 divided by 25, which gives me 38 hundredths. And then remember, our original problem said 9.5 is what percent. So we have to write 38 hundredths as a percent. So 38 hundredths means 38 out of 100, which means 38%. And then let's just make sure that this makes sense. 9.5 is 38% of 25. 38% is less than half. 50% would be half. 9.5 is less than half of 25, so it seems like a fairly reasonable answer. Last one. Again, we have a math problem, we're going to translate it into, or we have a word problem, we're going to translate it into an equation. So I'm just going to go right down the line. 39 is means equals 52%. I can write it as 52 out of 100, 52 hundredths like that. Or I can write 52 hundredths like this. Of means multiply. What number? We don't know. But again, it says what number, not what percent. So our answer is not going to be a percent. All right, so solve the equation, get x alone. Right now, x is not alone. They multiplied by 5200, so we are going to divide both sides by 5200. They multiplied by 5200, we divide by 5200. That makes it so that 5200 divided by 5200 is 1. So on this side, I have 1 times x. And on the other side, I have 39 divided by 5200, which is 75. 75 equals 1 times x. Well, 1 times x is just x. I have x equals 75, not percent, just 75. And then if I go back up to my original statement, 39 is 52%, so more than half of 75. And is 39 a little more than half of 75? It is. So our